Um, Welcome to our inaugural episode of the Daily Dose with District 8, where we will feature different topics related to 4-H, youth development, and leadership. Um, and an interview style with our District 8 council officers. We're kicking off this week with a really awesome one. Basically at the ground level, which we'll get to that topic in just a second. Before we get there, let me tell you who I am. I'm Megan Schaefer. I'm the District 8 4-H specialist here in Stephenville, and so I cover all of District 8 and get to work with this fine group of young people. And this podcast came out of an idea that we had. We were set ready to do our spring district meeting and workshop, and um, the plans just kind of fell through. We just didn't have the response that we wanted to for it. And so we thought, well, why don't we take what we were going to do at the workshop and kind of twist it a little bit, but then take it to the people a little bit more and in an easier to access fashion. And so now you can tune in every week for the next, I think, 5 or 6 weeks, to join in on some of the conversations that we're having with the district officers. And then you can go back and listen at your convenience whenever you want to. So, like I said, we're kicking off this week with our District 8 chairman, who also happens to be the Texas 4-H president. We're really excited about that. Travis, how are you tonight?
Oh, we're good. We're making it along. Houston's kind of over for the year, so we're moving along to the county in the next few weeks.
Awesome. Very good. Okay. Well, thanks for joining me tonight. We're going to dive into our topic this week, which is why choose 4-H? And before we can talk about why we're going to choose 4-H, we would need to know a little bit about you and how you got to where you are. So, Travis, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I kind of started 4-H as kind of the most stereotypical way. I started in third grade and then kind of fell in love with the program there. I'd watched my brother grow up through the program, so it was kind of rightfully for me just to jump in head first and see what all 4-H had to offer. At the very beginning, I took mostly just the livestock aspect of 4-H, showing cattle. I've been showing cattle throughout my whole entire 4-H career. Kind of came about it naturally. I've been raising cattle my whole entire life. And so funny story, I was actually late to my own birth because my dad had to feed cattle that morning. So showing cattle was something that just kind of came naturally to me. And it was 4-H gave me a great opportunity to show throughout the junior shows. So once I hit that third grade, I hit the ground running in 4-H, showing cattle at all the Texas majors and all the way all across the state and at the national level as well. And then once my brother kind of got through his junior high career and into high school, the aspect of 4-H kind of opened for me as well, not only for him, but seeing him go through his high school career at 4-H, it opened up a lot of doors that I never really saw outside of the livestock world. So that kind of gave me an end to what 4-H really could offer. And so that kind of led me to where I am today as your District 8 chairman and as your Texas 4-H Council president.
Awesome. I love it. Okay. So, the question for tonight is why should we choose 4-H? So, Travis, you kind of told us a little bit about that, about, you started in third grade and that sort of stuff. But what like, really pushed you to join 4-H?
So I guess my story may be a little bit different from others. A lot of people kind of may have to find their way to 4-H, but like I already said, my family has always been really, really heavily involved in the 4-H program. My mom works for the state 4-H program in College Station, and like I said, my brother grew up throughout the program just like me, starting in third grade. So the biggest thing that kind of gave me my in the 4-H was the livestock industry, showing cattle, but big picture, 4-H is much more than just showing livestock. There's so much more to offer. And I saw that once my brother got into the high school kind of sector and senior sector of the 4-H program, and a lot more networking opportunities and leadership opportunities opened the doors to things that kind of led him not only at his high school career, but all throughout his college career as well. So it was the overall, just the opportunities that 4-H offered and all the amount of things that just kept rolling in for my brother to do, and the leadership opportunities and the positions he had kind of like just lit a fire in me to kind of follow in, I guess, big brother's shoes. And so kind of he left big shoes to fill. And so that's kind of one thing I've always kind of lived up to him and kind of followed his footsteps. But once I got into my high school career, I kind of stuck with the same aspect of the leadership side and getting out and being on multiple council teams and stuff like that, but also kind of found my own path throughout 4-H in my high school career, kind of found who I was. And that's kind of what 4-H did for me. through these leadership opportunities and kind of getting me out to let me, if you don't know me, I love to talk. And so 4-H gave me a perfect aspect just to talk to as many people as I can. And so it kind of shaped me as a person, gave me the leadership opportunities, and gave me all the tools that I needed to really shape me into the positions I am today, and to what I think could be a good leader down the road.
Awesome. Okay, so you answered like 4 of our questions on our list with that
Yes.
one answer. So
Yes.
that's awesome. But let's talk about those kids who have a different situation than what you had. Or what you currently have, ones
Yes,
that
ma'am.
maybe don't know what 4-H is or didn't grow up with parents that were part of the organization or anything like that. So, what would you tell those kids about 4-H, and what would you tell them to share with them and to encourage them to join 4-H?
And I think the biggest thing is on, and kind of in that aspect and that question is, we've got to understand that 4-H is so much bigger than just showing cows and showing livestock. 4-H offers a multitude of projects, but outside of just the agricultural industry. Now, yes, we are very heavily based in the livestock and agriculture side of 4-H because, like I said, that's what I've grown up on, and so that's what everybody kind of leads towards, what they think 4-H is all about. But we got to understand 4-H offers 5 project areas, and livestock and agriculture is only one. So not only does the 4-H program, if you want to be involved in agriculture and want to show livestock program or livestock project, 4-H is right where you need to be. But if you're not interested in showing a lamb or showing a goat or being involved directly in agriculture, there's so many more other aspects in the 4-H program, like robotics or cooking. I mean, if you live in the city and love to cook, 4-H has a path just for you. Healthy lifestyles, there's so many opportunities within that project area. If you love to cook, 4-H has a path for you. If you love technology, we have STEM ambassadors. We have the STEM project area. If you love natural resources and preserving, I guess, what everything the livestock industry and the agriculture industry needs, we have a project area for that. So there's so much more that involved in just the agriculture and livestock side of things. And I think that's the biggest reason, or kind of one of my things that I really try to hit on as kind of an ambassador for the 4-H program, is we're so much bigger than just showing cows and showing livestock. And so that's what I think, as 4-H ambassadors and being on council, that's what we really need to push, that there's so many more opportunities. And 4-H is more than just kids who live in the rural country towns. 4-H goes into big cities of Houston, Fort Worth, Dallas, Austin, all those big cities. There's very, very big 4-H programs within these cities, and they don't show livestock necessarily. There's so many other projects that these kids love to be involved in, like the STEM projects and the robotics projects that not necessarily rural kids may be interested in, but these city kids, they love to be involved in that aspect. They love the technology of things. They may not have the areas or the amount of space to run a livestock, but you don't need very much space. All you need is a table and a computer to be a part of robotics. And if you love that aspect, 4-H has a path for you to take. And that's the biggest thing. Just push the amount of opportunities and the amount of projects that 4-H has. If you have an interest in something, 9 times out of 10, 99% sure that 4-H can have a path for you to take, or have a project, or have some sort of competition for you to take, and put your passion into work and put your passion into a competition or a group of people like that.
Yeah, I would say that is probably our biggest flex, I think, is that
Yes, ma'am.
we have a place for everybody, whether
Yes,
you
ma'am.
want to
Exactly right.
do fashion design, you want to do interior design, shooting sports, wildlife, any of
Yes,
that
ma'am.
kind of stuff. You mentioned some of those big city kids, and we talk a lot about the STEM projects because that's kind of where we tend to go. But what about dogs? A lot of people have dogs. You raise
Yes.
dogs,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
You
Yes,
got
ma'am.
puppies
Yes,
and all
ma'am.
that
That's exactly
stuff.
right.
But a lot of people have dogs, and so we have a dog project where you can
Yes,
learn
ma'am.
the obedience and the rally and all the things that go with dog project, and then there's art on top of that.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
so
Yes,
I
ma'am.
think it's really a unique organization in that we get compared a lot to our other youth organizations,
Yes.
whether that be Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, FFA,
Yes,
FCCLA, or
ma'am.
whatever. But I think the beauty of 4-H is that we take the best parts of all of those
Yes.
organizations and mesh them together to create an environment where all of our youth have a place to shine or to
Yes, ma'am.
find what their passion is. Travis, would you say that through 4-H, you really got to find out what you're exactly passionate about and be able to grow that passion and push it forward for your career, for your future career goals?
And that kind of ties back into what I said at the beginning. Like, I might have started 4-H with a lot, very livestock driven, very show career aspect of the 4-H program. But as I still do show today, like I mentioned, we're done with Houston, got finished with all the major shows in Texas. And why 4-H, and I mean, it's why livestock, showing livestock and being involved in livestock side of things is still a big passion for me in the 4-H program. But through that, not the livestock kind of shaped this as well, but leadership is what kind of has kind of topped that in terms of what I do in the 4-H program, because I can have more effect on the youth of Texas and the use of the 4-H program as being a leader for the 4-H program through these council opportunities, through these events that I'm involved with, just like I'm doing tonight on this podcast. I have more of an impact on the youth of Texas and the youth of the 4-H program through being a leader and getting out there and using what I'm good at and talking to people. And so why I still push, I'm an advocate for the agriculture industry and the livestock industry, and still love what my roots are of showing cattle and being involved in that aspect of 4-H. Leadership, there's so much more I can do with that in terms of shaping the next generation of 4-H members and just the use of Texas and the United States alone, because I always say we're not going to be here forever. And so I'm more of an impact of telling the youth of what I know and what I think I know maybe, but trying to be an impact to them and having an impact on their life so that when we're eventually gone out of the 4-H program or gone for good, I guess, there's the younger generation that's coming up that we can pass our knowledge along to, and we can do that as leaders. And that's kind of where I found my path through the 4-H program, especially once I got into the older career of the 4-H program and the opportunities really began to open up to me.
Awesome. Okay, I have like 3 questions left. One is, what piece of advice would you give to a brand new, no history of 4-H member?
Kind of like I did, just jump in head first. I think you hit the nail on the head a while ago when you said 4-H is a unique program, because like I said, 99% of what you want, or 99% of people who are passionate about something, you will find a place in the 4-H program, whether it be a project to be involved in, whether it's a competition that you can be involved with a group and team of people. Jump in head first, kind of dip your toe in the water for everything, find what you're passionate about, especially at the young age. And so that's kind of one thing that if I went back and kind of did things over, like I said, I jumped in as a livestock kid, never really veered from that. And so I think at your first, especially as a young 4-H member, if you're going to start like most kids in your 3rd grade career, kind of dip your toe into everything that 4-H has to offer, because there's so many things that it does offer, because it's very unique, like Miss Megan said. And so dip your toe in everything as your young 4-H career, kind of see what you're passionate about, because that may change when you get into the 4-H program. You may come in as a livestock kid, but you just may find a diehard passion for dog show if you raise dogs as well, or may find a diehard passion for cooking. So just kind of dip your toe into all the things that 4-H has to offer. And then once you find that passion, stick with that passion throughout, because there's so many things. Once you find a path in 4-H, as you get older and as you continue to be passionate about that project, there's so many doors that begin to open, especially throughout your older junior high and high school career through that project area. So kind of figure out what you're passionate about at the beginning, dip your toe in the water of everything you can. And then once you find that passion, stick with it and be all in for whatever that is.
Perfect. Okay. So if we have kids out there that are looking to join 4-H or to tell someone how to join 4-H, how do we tell them? What do we tell them?
Biggest thing is get with your county agent, or a lot of these kids are in your local clubs. Find the people who are leaders in your club, like whether that's just your officer team throughout your club. Go ask them. They're going to know how to join 4-H. The easiest way to do it is connect with your county agent or your club, I guess,
Manager.
Committee person, your manager. That's what I was looking for. Connect with your club manager, and they will be able to allow you to do whatever you want 4-H, get you signed up. That's what their job is to do. So as a youth, connect with your officer team throughout your club. As a parent, connect with that club manager, because that club manager can help you along so much throughout your career in 4-H.
Okay. My last question related to this topic is, if you had to do it all over again, regardless of your family history, would you choose 4-H again?
Any day of the week, any day. Heartbeat.
Awesome.
If I saw the opportunities that 4-H has to offer, and if I was ever at a program that just watching kids to be a part of 4-H, and didn't even know what 4-H was, but being a part of the programs and opportunities that 4-H has to offer, even if I never have heard of the 4-H program, just by going to one event, it would definitely be something I would immediately fall in love with. No matter what project or what pathway I fall into 4-H, it's definitely something I would fall in love with right from the beginning.
Awesome. Very good. Okay, so I'm going to throw a curveball at you for just 1 second, but I want to end our podcast with a question. And this is going to be something that we ask everybody. I want you to tell me
Okay.
something that's great that happened to you this week.
Great that happened this week. Oh, well, the biggest thing is, so I guess it was this kind of the beginning of the week. So we're going to throw it back to last week, I guess. Kind
Sure.
of ending. There's kind of the ending of the Heifer Show. It was kind of a lot of my friends are in 4-H are actually older members, so they're seniors this year, and so it was really fulfilling to be able to spend their last Houston together with them, continue those friendships. Because the one thing I really didn't mention is I mentioned all the opportunities and networking that you have through the 4-H program, but the friendships is what's going to stay with you throughout your whole entire life. And the friends that I've met in the 4-H program are going to be my best friends, be best man at my wedding type thing. So it's kind of fulfilling to be able to spend my senior friends that we haul with, kind of fulfilling to spend their last Houston together and be with them and kind of experience that. And they're going to be gone next year, but 4-H is going to offer me so many more friends, and it's those connections that I'm going to have. Those friendships are going to last forever throughout college, throughout just life in general. So that's one thing I didn't mention on, but that cannot be forgotten throughout the 4-H program is the friendships that's offered me, and so that was very fulfilling to be at the last Houston together, get the majors over, but kind of stay out there last Houston, kind of be there and witness that. So that was real fun.
Awesome. Well, Travis, thanks for hanging out with us tonight, and thanks for
Yes,
chatting
ma'am.
about why we should choose 4-H. You had a lot of good nuggets to throw in there, and we greatly appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
As I said at the beginning, this is going to be the first episode of what I hope is a long series of episodes, at least 5 I know of for sure. And so we hope that you'll continue to join in each week and hear what our phenomenal district council kids have to say. Um, Again, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook. We're just District 8 4-H on all of those places, and we would be happy to connect with you or help point you in the right direction if you need to get in touch with your county agent or just, build that network like Travis said, of your friends and your fellow 4-H members. And so you can connect with us on both of those platforms, Instagram and Facebook. And again, just thanks for tuning in, and we hope to see you next week. See you, Travis.
Thank you, Megan.